Time is 7:30. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can I get a roll call?
Councilwoman Aaron,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bliss,
I'm here.
Councilman Fleming,
Here.
Councilor Rohrbach,
Here.
Councilman Soltis,
Here.
Councilor Wright,
Here.
Mayor Grafstein.
Can I get a motion to excuse the mayor?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move to excuse the mayor.
Can I get a second?
Your Honor. I'll support.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next up, we have the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance with Councilwoman Aaron. If you can, please stand.
O gracious and most holy one, known by many names, but above all names, you are the spirit of life, spirit of love, spirit of community, spirit of justice. We want to first thank you for our new council chambers, for where every discussion that will be held in respect, unity, and the utmost regard for our peers. We ask your blessings on the people who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work and play. Help us as leaders to not ask first, how do we fix this? But what do we need to learn? How might we need to change? And to whom do we need to listen? Remind us, because all forgot from time to time, especially in the noisiness of what passes for political debate today, that we are not only leaders, but also servants, and that it is our responsibility to serve the common good of all. Remind us that no matter where we live, this is our community, and these are our neighbors, whom have placed us in the position to be called the leaders of the people, to respect and protect, and at least among all those things, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in body, mind, and spirit, and strangers in our midst. Grant them and us wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they and we speak out when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May they and we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Not used to turning that way for the flag. Welcome to our new space in City Hall, everyone. And Councilwoman Aaron, that was a phenomenal and inspiring invocation. So thank you for that. Next up, we have approval of the agenda. I know we have at least one addition, which would be the first one in reports. About the appointment of a new special counsel. Can I get a motion to add that?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that we add to the agenda the appointment of special counsel under reports.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Support.
Motion and a second. Is there any debate? No? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Are any other additions or deletions?
Your Honor,
Yes.
do we need to make a motion for our alternate clerk?
Do we need that clerk for that? Okay. Can I get a motion?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that we appoint Annette Boucher, sorry, as the acting clerk today. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Your Honor, I second.
Awesome. Any discussion? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Great catch. If you're keeping track at home, new room, substitute mayor, and substitute clerk. So we're we're all doing great here. All right. The first thing we have on the agenda is a presentation from our Director of Public Services with the 2022 Holiday Light Awards presentation.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Bliss and members of council. The Beautification Committee received a total of 21 nominations for the 2022 Holiday Decoration Awards. This year, the Beautification Committee traveled through the city of Madison Heights to witness firsthand all the brilliantly decorated houses. two of which were selected as co-winners for the 2022 Holiday Decoration Awards. Although neither of the winning homeowners were available to attend tonight's council meeting, we wanted to acknowledge the owners of these two outstanding homes. The first co-award winner is Mr. Andrew Lewandowski of 30339 Gary Avenue. As you will witness in our presentation, the wide array of colorful lighting that made this home award-winning. On behalf of the Beautification Committee, congratulations to Mr. Lewandowski. We have a $50 gift card to Green Lantern Pizza located at 28960 John R. Road in Madison Heights, as well as a certificate of appreciation from City Council for a job well done. We'd also like to recognize the second co-winner, Mr. Sean Bennis of 1533 West Whitcomb Avenue. Again, you'll see in the presentation the ample variety of colorful lights, yard decorations, and sidewalk luminaires that really captured the attention of the Beautification Committee. The committee sincerely appreciated the amount of time and effort required to decorate these beautiful homes. Congratulations, Mr. Bennis. We have a $50 gift card to Charlie's Restaurant located at 29084 North Campbell Road, and a certificate of appreciation from the City Council for your hard work. We'd now like to run a presentation of the co-winners and nominated homes. Thank you to the co-winners and as well as the nominated houses for making your homes look so festive this winter. The Beautification Committee will be accepting nominations beginning June 1st for the 2023 Summer Beautification Awards. Residents can contact the Department of Public Services or the Active Adult Center throughout the entire month of June to nominate their own or their neighbors' homes for the immaculate landscaping and gardening efforts. Thank you to the Beautification Committee, Jennifer Cowan, Sean Ballantyne, Councilor Wright, the AAC board members, and bus driver John Lufkin. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of council for your time this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have that song. We can't get it out of our head anymore. No, but in all seriousness, we appreciate everybody who decorates for the holidays, and especially those that took time out of their busy lives to judge. And it's not just about the presentation, it's about that experience as well. And I'm glad that our Active Adult Center board is able to spend and invest their time and energy into helping to ensure that we're able to give winners like this. It is important. All right, with that, move on to the agenda to a presentation from Councilman Soltis, supported by Councilman Fleming on Child Protective Services data and child maltreatment.
Yeah, from one extreme to another, but, I think this was important. Last time I gave a presentation like this, it was a few years ago. It was during the Boomer case. And so I wanted to do it again. I had to FOIA the data. It took forever to get. It was a struggle, as last time. Not sure why. But this one is going to be from fiscal year 18 to fiscal year 20. And so this is, like I had last time, in Madison Heights. So this is all the abuse and neglect in Madison Heights for fiscal year 18, 19, and 20. Of course, you saw it go down to 20. That was during the pandemic, or at least the beginning of it. Last time I just kept with, like I said, Madison Heights data, but as the more I dug and learned about it, it was more interesting. It was interesting to add more data to it. Again, here's the Madison Heights just broken down in a pie chart with sexual abuse, physical abuse, and neglect. Of course, the neglect is overwhelming, 84%. But if you look at the numbers, this is for a tri-county area, Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne. It's from the kids count. So that's from 2012 to 21. And of course, the COVID years decreased significantly. All right, here we go. So this is, and this is part of the reason I wanted to expand the scope. It's because there was an Audit General report, a scathing report of the Protective Service investigations from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services in September of 2018. It covered the years from 14 to 16, but they published it in 18. And then I have a link that leads to it, but I'm afraid if I click it, we might not be able to get back. So if you're interested in that, I can certainly give that to you. Is that the case? Do you think if I clicked on it, would it be able to come back to the PowerPoint?
I don't think it's going to work if you click on that,
Yeah.
so we'll just have to send out the link later.
Okay. It's hard to see this one. So this is the state of Michigan, and the data they gave me was raw data, and you can see it's in percentages. In my opinion, it was done that way because I just wrote a simple equation and then came up with the numbers. So the rate is from the state, and then you can't see the numbers, but they're large numbers. And so that's from all those years too. So the thing that really stood out to me, not only the aggregate number, but the number between infants from 0 to 1, you see how many cases there are, and then you look down below, and so you see the significant difference between infants and the rest of all the way up to 17, which is huge. You're talking about 5,000 more incidents for each year. So I wanted to kind of show, accentuate what's going on. So if you get 10 years, an average of 7,812, you're close to 80,000 abuse and neglect incidents. And then if you look at from 1 to 17, now you're in the hundreds of thousands. And that's in Michigan. So here I got a slide that shows the state level versus the United States. Again, you take a look at this, significant numbers, but it really isn't telling the whole story. And I'll show you why in a minute. Here was Michigan maltreatment aggregate numbers for each of the categories. So again, they had it in a rate, and then I converted into a number. So you got 44,000 across the board, pretty much. All right, so this is what the problem is the unfounded percentage each year. The stats implausibly, when over 70% were considered unfounded, consistently year after year. I'll show you a slide on that. So the questions of mandatory reporters, that's a problem. Because during the COVID, the numbers went down. And that's because the mandated reporters the children weren't being found or given or reported because of that. So the problem number 2 is the Audit General's report, which has serious violations. Currently, the Michigan child welfare system is under federal oversight. I got a slide on that with the judge scathing criticizing the Michigan CPS. And then, of course, the COVID environment, the numbers dropped significantly because there were pretty much no mandated reporters. And again, this is a slide, if anyone's interested, from the Detroit News, where the judge just really gave a scathing remarks about that the state of Michigan CPS is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, even though that audit report. So if we look at it nationwide, I want to, again, expand the scope. And you see there's 54% that are, I can't see it. Oh, yeah. Unsubstantiated. So that's a huge, right there, almost 60% is unsubstantiated. That's just, to me, it's ridiculous. Because then only 16% are substantiated. So you're telling me these mandated reporters who are trained in this to see when there is abuse or not abuse are wrong 54 or 56% of the time? If not that, then the CPS, because of that report, are not getting out on time. I think there's a 72 hours or 48 hours that they have to go out, and most of the times they're not meeting that. So they, obviously, whatever's happened, they can't prove it at that point. So that's very disturbing to me. You got alternative responses. That's like, I don't know, it could be mental services and things like that. And then only 10% of the time do they found no negligence or abuse. Again, here's some numbers on the nationwide. There's 4.4 million referrals in 1 year, fiscal year 2019. And then there was 7.9 million children affected by it. I mean, that's huge numbers. Again, this is just more data saying the same thing, but you can't really see this at home, but it talks about where the referrals come in, the reports, investigations, and it all falls down. It's like in the millions, literally. And by the time there's only, here it says 656,000 are victims, and the non-victims is 2.8 million. So you know what? I think that we're missing the mark, not only in what we do with CPSs, but what causes this, and it's the trauma. So here's a chart that you can see it. I think that's where we really need to focus our attention to. You know, I'm also starting subbing, and I see a lot of kids that obviously had some sort of trauma. Because the way their behavior is just, something's wrong. And I don't see it being addressed, unfortunately. And I just put this chart up there, and this is for the age of mothers, and not to say that they're doing the abuse, but it's just to show that over the years, at the different ages, you have a total of about 1.2 million babies being born over that time frame. So if you look at percentage-wise, it's a sad state. So if anyone have any comments or questions? No? Again, you can always, if you're at home, you can email me, and I'd be more than happy to talk more in detail about it. But that's all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilman Soltis. We don't have anything under public hearings, so I'd like to open this meeting to the public. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. And if you can, we'd encourage you to give your name and address when you start. All right, meeting is open to the public.
Short people need to adjust. Thank you, council. The chambers are beautiful. Nice job, Melissa, and everyone who helped. Councilwoman Aaron, your invocation was spot on. We need to bring our city, everybody needs to work together. I know we're not best friends with everybody, but can we still at least work together to bring our city back together? The separation, you can see it, and it's heartbreaking. We are one city. Everybody up here supports everybody in our city. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, right, as council? So I think that especially since everybody on council has committees, boards, commissions, why can't we at least get those to work together first? If you can get your boards and commissions to work together, then it will bring in communities together, bring all of the people together. That's my main message. Like, the Crime Commission is gonna work with the Arts Board for the bike rodeo. They give out free helmets. The Arts Board is gonna have stuff there so the kids can decorate their helmets. If there's just something like, I know, Emily, you're having a plant sale. Maybe there's something that one of the other groups could do to help with that, or something. Can we just help each other so that we can get back to where we are just one city?
Thank you. Is there anybody else from the public who'd like to speak? All right, so I will close the meeting to the public. That takes us to our consent agenda. Is there anything on this that any member of council would like to remove? Hearing none, what is the wish of council on the consent agenda?
Your Honor, I'd like
Yes.
to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, is there a second?
Your Honor, I'll second.
All right, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. The consent agenda has passed. All right, there is nothing in communications. The next thing up is the report that we added, which is a motion to adopt the recommendation of the city attorney to appoint Simon, Stella, and Zingas PC as special counsel. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that council adopts the recommendation of the city attorney to appoint Simon, Stella, and Zingas as special counsel.
Great. Is there a second?
Your Honor,
Yes.
support.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to adopt the recommendation of the city attorney and appoint our new special counsel. Is there any discussion? All right, this is moving along fast. Is there, so no discussion, we will do just a quick vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, say no. Motion passes. We have a new special counsel. All right, now we get into the fun stuff. Bids and words and purchases from the fire chief, the fire department power load and lifting system. Do we have a staff report on this one?
Yes, in 2024 fiscal year budget, $37,000 is being requested to purchase a new power load system and Pro Care service plan from Stryker. This equipment is a system that lifts and lowers the cot into and out of the ambulance. The power load is a proprietary system and is the only system that will work with the Stryker cots. Earlier this month, Stryker informed us that a demo power load is available at a discount price. In addition, Stryker advised us that a price increase will go into effect the first week of February for their Power Load Pro Care service plan. This opportunity to purchase a demo will save the city approximately $7,400 over waiting for the beginning of fiscal year 2024 to make this purchase. Also, once purchased, we'll be eligible to receive a Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority risk avoidance grant, which will provide an additional $5,505 reimbursement to the city. Therefore, staff and I recommend that City Council take advantage of the demo price by approving a budget amendment for $31,500 to account 101-336-982-000, and that does take a supermajority of council. And by second, awarding the purchase of one power load lifting system from Stryker for the price $31,387.28. And Ray Gilson is joining us tonight if City Council has any questions.
All right, so we've got two parts of this. The first one is the budget amendment. What is the wish of council on that?
Your Honor,
Yes.
how much was the budget amended for?
$31,500.
So, Your Honor, I move that council approves a budget amendment of $31,500 to account 101-336-982-000.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Your Honor, support.
Yes. All right, motion from Councilor Rohrbach, second by Councilor Wright. Is there any discussion on this budget amendment?
Your Honor,
Yes.
we're going to need 5 votes, so we'll need a roll call.
Okay. Will the clerk please take a roll call?
Councilwoman Aaron,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bliss,
Yes.
Councilman Fleming,
Yes.
Councilor Rohrbach,
Yes.
Councilman Soltis, and Councilor Wright.
Yes.
All right, motion passes 6-0. Now for the motion on approving the purchase. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we take advantage of the demo price and award the purchase of a power load lifting system from Stryker for $31,387.28.
Thank you. Do we have a second for that motion?
Your Honor, a second.
All right, so we got a motion from Councilor Wright and a second from Councilwoman Toya Aaron. Is there any discussion from council on this item? All right.
Just that, I'd just like
Yes,
to add.
Councilor Wright?
Just going to the fire ops training and seeing like the work that they have to do. I mean, I think that this is a benefit and it seems like it's going to save money, which is like a win-win. And whenever we can, we should create win-win. So this is like slam dunk.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I do know, and I think I learned at the fire ops training from several years ago, that one of the biggest problems that firefighters face is injury based on lifting injuries and so forth. So this is going to prevent that injury as much as possible. Do you have anything to?
No, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council.
Yes, please.
That is correct. That is to reduce the lifting. At that point of the process, we would be lifting the patient and the stretcher into the back of the truck at that time. So it takes the load off of us, and the Power Pro system will lift all of it unaided to slide into the truck.
My back hurts just thinking about that, but I also think of, our residents who would be lifted up in that stretcher, and any type of jolt or movement could be an issue. Now, this is not our first one, right?
Correct. This
We've
will
outfitted a couple.
Yeah, this will outfit all of our ambulances at this point.
Okay, and so this was the last ambulance that was running without one of these lifts?
Correct, essentially, yes,
Awesome. Well, I like a flush, so
yeah.
it's good. And I'm really appreciative of city staff personally for getting this discounted and taking advantage of this opportunity. I think that type of fiscal responsibility is important, and I like that we're getting this done now. So is there any other comments from council before we vote?
Your Honor?
Yes. Councilman Soltis?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm glad we are doing it. I'm glad we did it in the first place. I'm glad it was invented. My EMS career was ended because I blew out a back. We didn't have such things back then, and so no, it's totally worthwhile. It was a long time coming, and so I'm glad that we can do it.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Aaron?
I would like to say this is a miracle saver. I too had to end my career in, working on nursing units. It damaged my back lifting and pulling patients, trying to get them in and out of the bed. And having a lift, it saved so much time. I would warn young nurses and techs to save their back, because working in healthcare, trust me, we work harder than factory workers. Excuse me, factory workers, but our bodies are taken from head to toe where we're in pain, lifting and pulling, patients. So I'm happy you guys are getting it.
Not that anybody on council is comparing.
No, not at all, not at all, not at all.
All right. Any final questions, comments from council? All right, with that, we will take a vote. Motion on the table to approve, to take advantage of this demo pricing and approve the purchase. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. All right, and so that takes us to our last agenda item, which is from the DPS. It's Ordinance 2192, the Stormwater Illicit Discharge Elimination Plan Ordinance. That is a mouthful. We'd be adopting this just on first reading.
As a condition of our municipal separate stormwater system MS4 permit, which allows the city of Madison Heights to discharge stormwater to the waters of the state, we are required to adopt an illicit discharge elimination plan ordinance. This ordinance establishes methods for controlling the introduction of pollutants into the municipal storm sewer system in order to comply with the requirements of the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permitting process. Presented for council's consideration is this proposed IDEP ordinance to be added to the City of Madison Heights Code of Ordinances as number 2192. This ordinance, as written, has been reviewed by Eagle DLZ, who is the city's stormwater consultant, and our legal counsel. Therefore, staff recommends that council approve ordinance 2192 on first reading and schedule the second reading for February the 13th.
Thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor, I move that council concurs with staff recommendation and approves ordinance 2192 on first reading and schedule the second reading for February 13th, 2023.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Your Honor, I'll second.
Any discussion from council on ordinance 2192? I won't read the full name. So perhaps from staff, if we could give the general public like the 30-second high level, what is this actually going to do?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. What this does is this gives city staff basically the if ever discovered illicit deposits into our storm system, it gives us the authority to go on and investigate on private property or on businesses or to determine where that illicit discharge is being deposited into the storm system. And we've had examples in the city, whether it by accident or intentional, where either private business owners are depositing anything other than stormwater into our storm system. Once we discover that, code enforcement gets involved. We notify the county drain commissioner and their offices of the illicit discharge, and then we proceed with the remedy to clean up or to have that deposited or illicit discharge eliminated and completely cleaned up.
Thank you.
Your Honor, and one more
Yes.
thing, and to prosecute the person who is violating this ordinance. So that's part of the one of the remedies.
Awesome. Any other comments from council? Questions?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I think this is a great, this is a great ordinance because it's going to help us out locally, enforce anybody who's contaminating our stormwater, ourselves instead of waiting around for somebody else to, and reporting to somebody else who's going to enforce it for us. And I think it gives us a lot of power to take care of these malicious contaminants that are introduced into the stormwater. So that's it.
Great point. I agree. All right, any other comments? All right, we'll move to a vote on what I will now call SEDEPO. We got an acronym. Ordinance 2192 on first reading, also scheduling the second reading at the first February meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. All right, that takes us to the end of our agenda. As always, we will end with closing comments. I will start with Councilwoman Aaron.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to first say it is awesome to be back in council chambers. It is beautiful. I don't know if the heat is up or if it's just me, but man, oh man, I'm feeling it. Also, congratulations to the Holiday Lights winners. Thank you, Councilman Soltis, for your presentation this evening. Knowing that here in Michigan, 1 in 7 children and adults are being neglected or mistreated every day, just hearing those numbers is really appalling. I've seen it. I have friends that work with CPS and APS, and I understand the difficulty of their jobs. You know, they are on call literally 72 hours a day, a week, where they may have to leave their house at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning just to respond to an allegation of someone being abused, be it a child or an adult. So I find it to be very disturbing that during 2020, those numbers went unnoticed. So it leads you to believe what happened to that child or that person. So, thank you for bringing that to the light. And when we talk about, parenting and being a teenager, I am a child of a teenage mom. I'm happy. My mom is an outlier, not a liar, an outlier. Most people say that teenagers can't raise a child, but my mom has successfully raised 3 really great adults in her years, and she did it alone. So for that, I want to say thank you. And her birthday is this Wednesday. So happy birthday, Mama. I love you, and see you Wednesday. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. And happy birthday to her. Councilor Wright.
Yeah, happy birthday. Tell her happy birthday. On a completely opposite note, I gotta change the order I do this now. I wanted to just start by acknowledging the MLK Peace Vigil that we had done. See, I still can't do it because I can't. Anyway, we did a Peace Vigil last Monday in honor of Martin Luther King. It was a Peace Vigil, something to start the year off by bringing the community together, something we could all kind of acknowledge the hard times of last year and the ones that come, but a moment of just peace. And it was fantastic. We were going to do it at the gazebo, but it was super cold and it was like super rainy, so we had to move it to underneath the shed. But what was most fantastic was to see people come out and to support and to come together in solidarity. I wanted to thank our elected leaders who came out. We had Stephanie Chang, Mike McFall came out, Haley Stevens, our Congresswoman Haley Stevens came out. But we had folks there from the library board, and it was just, it was fantastic because we had the superintendent of Madison District there, and we had Amy Kaczynski from Edmondson, and we had a lot of people who were from the community, and we brought them together for one cause, and that's fantastic because that's what we should be doing, which is kind of spoke to a little bit earlier. But we need to do it in ways in which, like, it's not just for show. It means something. It has value, and that was the whole point of the vigil. So I'm very proud of the fact that we pulled that off, and we started the year off that way, like focused on peace, focused on coming together as a community. I want to thank Corey for putting together that trip for all those photos you saw. Corey took all of those photos. So when we were going around seeing all the homes, Corey would literally get off and say, "Stop, wait a sec," and he would go out. So thank you, Corey, for bearing the elements and putting that whole thing together. On a more somber note, I just wanted to acknowledge again Barb Geralds, who passed away. Her life celebration was last week, and it was just, you know, you talk about pillars of the community, you talk about who and what is Madison Heights, and Barb Gerald was a servant of this community, and that's truly, she was an example of what it means to be a servant leader. So I wanted to acknowledge her at least one more time. And finally, the Madison Heights Community Coalition, we got one of the members right here, is doing a blood drive, and they need folks to sign up. So be on the lookout for more information for that on their social media, but they need folks to sign up. And like, if you're wondering what type of blood or who needs to sign up, it's you. We need everyone to sign up. So give blood. There's always a shortage of blood, particularly since COVID, and you know, hopefully no future things happen every other year, but we'll just keep things moving forward. And so with that, I yield.
Thank you. Is there anything from the Attorney's Office tonight?
Nothing, Your Honor.
City Manager?
Just one thing I want to remind everyone before our next city council meeting on Tuesday, February the 7th, starting at 5 o'clock at Fire Station 1, we are going to have a open house to talk to the planning company that is redoing the city's ordinances. So if you're interested, business owner, resident, please come out. You can stop in anytime between 5 and 7. It doesn't have to start right at 5. It's kind of like an open discussion where you would walk up and talk to different members. So it's not a formal meeting. It's just exactly what it says, an open house. So feel free to join us that day, February 7th, Tuesday, 5 to 7.
Thank you. Anything from the clerk's office tonight?
From the city clerk, Cheryl Rotman, she wanted to let the public know that boards and commissions, applications, and vacancy lists are available on the city website at www.madison-heights.org. Applications are due by February 15th to the clerk's office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilor Robach?
Yeah. Excuse me. First, I'm going to say I want to echo what Councilor Wright said about the MLK Peace Vigil that we did. The HREC was instrumental in putting it together, and I think want to thank Councilor Wright for his particular work on that. It was really beautiful. So anybody who came out, you know, everybody that I talked to when we were there was moved by the speeches and just by the quiet reflection of standing together in community, holding that candle and thinking about the ways that we can come together. It was just quite a lovely experience, despite the freezing cold and rain. So, so I want to say thank you to everybody for either attending or participating in some way. Speaking of the HRAC, we're also discussed this week a guest reader program that we're working with the library on, and doing a story time for Black History Month and Women's History Month in February and March. The library is closed, though, so we're working on alternate locations to have during the week, like morning story time for the young ones, that really focuses on those 2 months to start, and then we'll continue from there. So be on the lookout for those announcements over the next couple of weeks. And in addition, the Arts Board and the HRAC are working together on an initiative with Michigan Statewide Independent Living Council. They're a group that works with folks with disabilities and different abilities all across the state of Michigan to advocate and provide resources for independent living. And they're going to be, these 2 boards are working together to do a community-wide art project that will celebrate the Americans with Disabilities Act Pride Month, which is July. I think it was 1990. The ADA was passed in 1990 in July, and so every year this group celebrates Pride Month ADA Pride Month in July and celebrates people of all abilities. So we're really looking forward to working together. Our first meeting on that project will be next week, and I can't wait to share more about that. At our last meeting, the mayor asked me to present a report on the HREC's strategic plan from last year and how we were able to accomplish those goals. Mayor's not here tonight. I'd really love for her to be here for that, so I'm going to hold off until she's here so we can do that together. You know, and I would welcome a report from any of the boards and commissions, that they would be welcome to have that same same type of report in this setting. I don't know why we just called out the HREC to do this, but I'm very happy to do it, but I do want the mayor to be here. And finally, I am sad to say that I will not be here for the February 13th council meeting. So I beg the forgiveness of the city. I'm going to be out of town with my family on that weekend, and just couldn't. It costs a lot more to fly back on early in the week rather than waiting till Tuesday. So that's what we ended up doing when you're buying 5 plane tickets. You have to make choices. So my apologies, but I will see you at the second meeting in February. Thank you.
Thank you, and enjoy your vacation.
Thanks.
You've earned it. All right, Councilman Fleming, anything tonight?
Yeah, I want to congratulate the winners of the Holiday Decoration Awards. I also want to congratulate Suzette Geisel on her retirement. She served for a very long time and her last position was the secretary or admin for the chief of police. And then I also want to welcome our 2 new police officers, Greenway and Spence. Congratulations to their hires. And then finally, I want our city to give an award to the Hayter family who resides at 758 West Gardenia. I'm sure you have never missed their house. Currently, they have a large skeleton family that sits in the front and has been there since almost the beginning of the pandemic. And this display has basically provided uplifting of spirits and the morale of the community with their display. And I believe that, and I feel that our city should give them an award for what they've done for lifting the spirits and the morale of our city overall. That's it.
Thank you. All right, Councilman Soltis.
Thank you, Henner. Yeah, I want to congratulate Suzette too about. It's funny. I was thinking that before I ever got involved in politics, I got my master's degree in public administration, and so I wanted to do an internship here. Ben Myers was the city manager, and so he reluctantly said yeah. And so I was out here, I think every day or whatever. But I remember particularly with Suzette. At that time, she was animal control, and so we're driving around, and she's telling me, "Oh, you got to watch for this, this, and this," and we were by the movie theater, and you know those corrals that's got the garbage and stuff, and so I saw two legs sticking out, and I said, "Wait, Suzette, we got to stop and take a look at this." And so she goes, "Where?" So we pull around, and then I get out and I open up the thing. It was this guy, it was shooting up, right? So I'm like, oh my God, and she's go, and so he takes off sprinting, and she goes, hey, and it was by the showcase, or whatever the movie theater is, and he ran inside, she goes, well, go chase after him. So I'm like, what? You want to do what? So I'm racing inside there, and I'm like, I can't find this guy, I don't know where he is. And so it was just funny story, I just had to say, but it was kind of an odd one. But anyhow, it just made me think of that. And so, even though she's a great person, of course. And I want to shout out to the city manager. I was a little skeptical at first with the idea about the whole renovations and moving and all this stuff. But you really pulled it together, and you hit a home run, I think, overall, because you did a fantastic job. Handling the vendors and this and that and their construction and everything, and so I really applaud you. Thank you. That's all.
I think our city manager would also tell you, you haven't seen anything yet. We've still got 2 big pieces of this project going, right?
3, Fire Station 2.
Yeah. So actually that was like top on my list tonight, is that we all just take a moment to acknowledge the amazing historical moment that we're in. This is the first meeting in the new council chambers in the midst of the largest capital improvement project in our city's history. Like this is pretty phenomenal, and it's hard when you're living in the middle of this like historical change to really recognize it. And so, I suppose as the council rep for the Historical Commission, it's my opportunity to remind us like this is a huge moment. I think the old council chambers was from, the 70s when the City Hall was built?
Found a picture from 1964, I think.
1964.
1965.
So it's been a long time, and this is, outside of special meetings and temporary locations, this is the first time we have a new location for council meetings, and so I think that's pretty incredible. I also want to thank Mayor Grafstein for her confidence in my ability to kick things off here in her absence. Mayor Grafstein's at a meeting with both the Japanese consular and the Mexican consular at the consulate office, I think the Japanese consulate office. And this was a kind of once in a moment opportunity to be able to have that joint meeting. And one of the things that I truly appreciate about Mayor Grafstein is her ability to bring those relationships together, to be able to build kind of those bridges in our community across different groups like that. And so I'm appreciative that she trusted me with the gavel for this important meeting. But B, I'm appreciative that the work that she's doing on behalf of the city tonight will help bring some amazing things through those partnerships as we continue on. And I think in the acknowledgement of public comments, Martha Corvert said that it's all about bringing people together and working together. And I think because we're the kind of the bare like bones bottom of the political barrel, I think everybody believes that it's just what you see in like 14 votes for House Speaker. I think they think that that's what this is. We often, I'm sure, both disagree publicly, privately. I'm sure we all vent to our spouses about things that we don't agree on. But I think the biggest benefit that we have is we're all neighbors who wouldn't have signed up for this if we didn't have A, a thick skin, and B, a desire to see this city continue to improve and progress and change in a positive direction. And so this is a historic moment, and I want to leave it at that it's cool to see what happens when we all work together. And my phone, my time, everything's completely open for anybody at this table, in the public, anybody watching. If you think that you can help make this city better, I want to talk to you and we'll find out how. So with that, it is 8:23 p.m. and I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.